Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we are tackling one of the most misunderstood, honestly frustrating, and heavily debated topics in the entire health and fitness world. We're looking at the actual science behind why eating less sometimes just stops working. You know the feeling, right? You diligently cut calories, you see some initial progress, and then, bam, nothing. You hit an absolute brick wall. Well, if you've ever experienced that, you are definitely not alone.
It's so incredibly frustrating when you hit that plateau. I mean, you are eating like a bird, you're putting in the work, and the scale simply refuses to budge. Naturally, the immediate, almost gut reaction question that pops into our heads is, wait, is my metabolism blocked? Is my body broken? We start to feel totally betrayed by our own biology, just assuming that somewhere along the line, the internal engine completely stalled out and failed on us.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the reality here is fundamentally different from what popular culture keeps telling us. Your body is not broken at all. What's actually happening is a biological phenomenon that scientists formally call metabolic adaptation. Basically, when your body is faced with a prolonged reduction in calories, it doesn't just fail, it actively responds. It decreases your energy expenditure to conserve fuel. So, your metabolism isn't blocked or damaged in any way, it's actually perfectly executing a highly evolved, brilliant survival strategy.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. First up, the metabolism myth. Second, our energy expenditure. Third, metabolic adaptation. Fourth, hormonal chaos. And finally, survival versus aesthetics. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. El mito del metabolismo, or the metabolism myth. Let's separate fact from fiction.
So, the whole idea of a blocked metabolism, that isn't even a formal medical term. When we put the popular myth side by side with scientific reality, we see a massive paradigm shift. The myth tries to tell you that your metabolism is blocked, which implies some sort of medical failure or a total breakdown of the system. But the actual science proves that this is simply a biological response. It's a proven evolutionary defense mechanism. Think about human history for a second. Our bodies evolved over thousands and thousands of years to survive really harsh periods of scarcity, famine, and brutal winters. Your body is literally designed to keep you alive when food is scarce. It is absolutely not designed to lose weight consistently over time. In fact, continuously losing weight goes entirely against our primal programming.
Moving on to Section 2, Nuestro Gasto Energético, or our energy expenditure. Let's break down how we actually burn calories every single day.
Looking at our total daily energy expenditure is honestly fascinating. Notice that a massive chunk, about 67%, goes straight to your basal metabolic rate, or BMR. This is the non-negotiable energy required for vital functions. Just keeping the lights on. We're talking breathing, blood circulation, cellular activity, temperature regulation. Then, another 10% goes to the thermic effect of food. That's the energy your body spends just digesting and absorbing the meals you eat. And finally, the remaining 23% is physical activity, which includes your structured workouts plus something called NEAT.
Now, NEAT stands for Non-Exercise Activity Thermogenesis, and it is entirely responsible for burning hundreds of calories every single day. Literally hundreds. This is all the unconscious movement you do. It's walking to your car, maintaining your posture, fidgeting at your desk, or, well, if you're like me, talking wildly with your hands while you explain things. It might sound kind of trivial, but as we're about to see, this highly variable component is an absolute key to understanding how your body adapts when you put it on a diet.
All right, Section 3, La Adaptación Metabólica, or metabolic adaptation. Here is where we see the body's true response.
Let's move to and see how this builds step by step. In step 1, you introduce a prolonged diet or severe caloric restriction. In step 2, your body immediately notices the missing energy, so your basal metabolic rate drops. Now, some drop is totally normal when you lose weight, right? A smaller body just needs less fuel. But here, it drops way more than what would be expected for the actual weight lost. That is an active adaptation. Then we hit step 3, where your NEAT completely plummets. Without you even realizing it, your brain literally stops you from fidgeting. You start to slouch a bit more, you take fewer steps, and your general energy just drops. Finally, in step 4, your body becomes incredibly energy efficient. It learns how to perform those exact same daily tasks using far fewer calories. You literally transform into a hyper-efficient energy-saving machine.
But it doesn't stop with just saving energy. Section 4, El Calas Hormone. Let's look at the chemical matrix of it all.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how your body's chemistry actively conspires against your diet. Take leptin, for example. That's the hormone produced by fat tissue that signals to your brain that you're full. During a diet, your leptin drops significantly.
which massively increases your hunger and simultaneously reduces your energy expenditure. Meanwhile, ghrelin, the hunger hormone produced in your stomach, absolutely spikes. Your appetite just goes through the roof. Add in cortisol, the stress hormone. That also spikes under the stress of a caloric deficit, and it actively favors the storage of abdominal fat. And finally, T3, which is your thyroid hormone that regulates the speed of your metabolism, drops, effectively slowing your internal engine way down. So your hangry hormones are basically screaming at you to eat and store fat.
All of these hormonal signals are sent directly to your brain, specifically right to the hypothalamus. And the hypothalamus is not just some passive observer sitting back and watching you diet. No, it acts like a highly active, totally responsive thermostat. When it detects that your energy reserves are running low, it actively dials up the hunger signals and ruthlessly dials down your energy output. It is actively, fiercely managing your weight to keep you safe.
And if you want to know just how incredibly powerful and stubborn this mechanism really is, look no further than the famous scientific study on participants from the TV show The Biggest Loser. Researchers tracked these folks and found massively significant reductions in their basal metabolic rates after extreme dieting. But here is the truly shocking part. That metabolic reduction persisted for years after the show ended. Years! Their metabolic adaptation was far greater than what could be explained just by the physical weight they had lost. It turns out the body's memory for scarcity is incredibly long and very unforgiving.
Which leads us perfectly to our final paradigm shift. Section 5, Supervivencia versus Aesthetica, or survival versus aesthetics. First off, we have to recognize that our daily lifestyle choices can act like absolute gasoline on this fire. Factors like a simple lack of sleep will artificially increase your hunger hormone, ghrelin, and decrease leptin. High chronic stress shoots your cortisol way up, totally messing with your fat distribution. Losing muscle mass during a severe diet directly slows your metabolism down, simply because muscle burns more energy than fat does. And of course, the more extreme the diet is, the more drastic the body's adaptation is going to be. You are essentially forcing your body into a new, incredibly stubborn equilibrium.
So the crucial point is this: we absolutely have to change the narrative playing in our heads. Stop looking in the mirror and saying, my metabolism is damaged, or my body is broken. Instead, look at the science we've just covered and realize the powerful truth. My body is adapting to conserve energy. It is doing exactly what millions of years of evolution trained it to do to protect you.
It really all comes down to a fundamental conflict of interest between you and your biology. Your human, modern-day goal is aesthetics, right? You desire weight loss, to look a certain way, or to finally hit that magic number on the scale, but your body's biological priority is entirely focused on survival. To your brain and to your hormones, rapid weight loss isn't some great success story. It is literally perceived as a lethal threat, and it will activate every single compensatory mechanism it has to protect you from that perceived threat.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final question to really think about regarding your own health and fitness journey. Are your extreme diets triggering your survival instincts? The next time you hit that frustrating plateau, remember the incredible science of your own biology. Your body isn't fighting you out of spite. It's fighting to keep you alive. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I really hope this gives you a completely new perspective on how amazing and protective your metabolism actually is.